The Indian spy satellite has found the Chinese People's Liberation Army digging into the Tibet area near the Indian-China border. The Chinese troops have mobilized near India and 4 Pakistani Air Force bases are on high alert. India's premier spy satellite Emisat, operated by the India's Defense Research and Development Organization, or the DRDO, has positioned the satellite into the Chinese-occupied Tibet region. The Chinese military have increased their activity and have mobilized more troops near the China-India border in the depsang region. The talks between the two countries on the military level is failing to improve. In a major part of the border area near China, and China is refusing to move back from there. On Friday, according to the Indian news media, India TV source said India's RISAT, the RISAT 2BR1 reconnaissance satellite, had passed over the Chinese Djibouti Navy Base in the Horn of Africa, where all the major countries have their military bases. The Indian satellite found to reports there were 3 Chinese naval ships in the waters near the Djibouti coast. Either they are moving towards the Indian Ocean or they are planning to block the sea routes, according to our predictions. On July 11th, the Emisat or the 11th carried out a pass-by near the Pakistani naval base Armara, where the 3 Chinese Navy ships are docked. The naval base can afford to host even the submarines. Pakistan has now carried out the military exercises in the POK Quadri Air Force Base. The Chinese-built J-17 jets have been deployed. The official source said the military exercises was carried out on instruction from the China, according to the Z News of India. According to the same media news, the Pakistani Air Force chief have visited the base for an important meeting. The speculations of the China and Pakistan may attack India in the coming winter simultaneously, and India might or may face a two-front battle, while Pakistan might come from the POK and China from the Ladakh region. Meanwhile, the Indian Air Force Base are in high alert for any surprise intrusion from both the countries. Also, India is having a closer eye to the Pakistan and Chinese movements near the Indian border. The Lieutenant General Y.K. Joshi of India, while speaking to the India's news media CNN News TV 18, said, China wants to change the status quo. That's why the China is refusing to move back from the friction points. The buffer zones are temporary according to the Indian government. They are to avoid any immediate frictions. Already the Chinese are building new structures near the border, also some hospitals. The status quo could change if the stalemate continues for a longer time, and this is what exactly the China want, said the Lieutenant General of India. So what do you think of India to face a two-front battle in the coming winter of 2020? Can it happen? Can China and the Pakistan change the status quo of India beyond POK and Ladakh?
India to invest $150 billion in military. In Ahmedabad, a distinguished scientist and the Director General of BrahMos Missile System Division of the DRDO, Dr. Sudhir Mishra, today said that the country would acquire various military equipment worth USD $150 billion in the coming years. Inviting private players to grab the opportunity by entering the defense equipment manufacturing. Mishra said the Defense Research and Development Organization is ready to share its technology with the manufacturers. Mishra, who is also the CEO and the Managing Director of BrahMos Aerospace, an India-Russia joint venture of Military of Defense, was speaking at the interactive session on the defense manufacturing organized by the Gujarat chapter of C2 here. In the next 10 years, there is a requirement of about $150 billion of military equipment for India. This is the realistic and the quite moderate figure. This is a big opportunity for the entrepreneurs, he said. According to him, $150 billion would be spent on manufacturing or upgrading aircraft tanks, guns, and various other equipments. There are many items we are going to manufacture or procure. Many of them have already become a reality, such as upgradation of MiG-29 and Mirage aircraft. We are also going to procure around 500 more T-90 battle tanks in a short time, he said. Expressing concern over the overall manufacturing scenario in the country, he invited private players to consider taking up the upgradations of the production of defense requirement or equipment. And also he said, in our country, the contribution of manufacturing sector in GDP is 18% for the last 7 to 8 years, while the contribution of service sector is 65%. This anomaly, the manufacturing should be around 35 to 40% and the service sector has to be 15 to 25%. And Mishra said, at present we own 6 to 7% of global software market, but now we cannot grow beyond this, as we mostly carry out outsourcing and low-end software jobs. That is why the new government at the center came up with Make in India. Now we are trying to catch up. DRDO is ready to share the technology, as we alone cannot do it. Private and entrepreneur players can take the technology from us and develop it for the market. You can approach us and start manufacturing, he added, while addressing budding entrepreneurs from his sector. As Modi's Make in India is progressing, in New Delhi, the Sweden SAB will tie up with India's Adani Group to bid for a contract to make the fighter aircraft in India. A chief executive said on Friday, pitting it against Lockheed Martin in a race to equip India's Air Force with new jets. SAB is offering its Gripen fighter aircraft and US defense contractor Lockheed Martin its F-16 to supply hundreds of aircraft that India's Air Force says it needs to replace its Soviet-era fleet. SAB and Lockheed have both offered to build a single-engine aircraft locally to comply with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's signature Make in India initiative to cut imports and build the domestic defense industries. Hakan Baski. SAB CEO told reporters in New Delhi that the company would invest billions of dollars if it won the orders, and that it was prepared to export the Gripen from India if the governments allowed it to do so. SAB and Adani have yet to decide on a location for manufacturing, Baski said. The Lockheed Martin is also proposing to manufacture F-16s in India for export. Our plan in India are to create new defense ecosystem that will involve many partners, vendors, and suppliers. The Gautam Adani, the chairman of $12 billion Adani Group, with businesses ranging from energy and logistics to real estate, but little present in the defense, said it planned to manufacture a number of aerospace defense products with SAB but gave no details. Under India's new strategic partnership defense policies, a foreign aircraft maker must collaborate with an Indian firm to develop a world-class indigenous aeronautical base that India has struggled to build for decades. Lockheed has already picked India's Tata Advanced System as its local partner to produce F-16s that will compete for the contract with SAB's Gripen. Indian government will issue a formal request to Lockheed and SAB over the next few days to provide information about their plans to design, develop and produce combat jets in India, the government official told to Reuters earlier this week. Defense analysis says the competition is between Lockheed and SAB, the only firms that have announced joint ventures with Indian companies and a pledge to build locally if they win. Foreign defense manufacturers are looking to the South Asian countries as one of the most promising markets for weapons in coming decade, with India predicted to spend $250 billion to modernize its military. India signed a deal in September last year to buy 36 twin-engine Rafale fighters jets from France Dassault Aviations for around $8.7 billion, the country's first major acquisition of combat planes in 2 decades. Indian Air Force officials have warned for years of major capabilities gap opening in with China and Pakistan without a new state-of-art planes. So what do you think of India boosting $150 billion in coming years for its military and its air force and its defense systems? Post your comments below. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.